this. It's called reverse. Let's open it. And it fails right away. And right behind me, the alert fires, as you can see. Let's do it 2 more times. Try to download it. Chrome downloads it. And it failed. Hello, welcome to IT Security Labs. And today I'm very excited that we'll be looking at Kali Purple. A week ago, there was a release from OffSec and they said they have a new Kali Linux machine that they just deployed in 2023. So today I'm going to show you how to set it up, and we end up with Elastic SIEM, where we can actually get some alerts in our systems, monitor some endpoints, and also look at how detection works with this new Kali Purple device. In the future, we'll look at other tools, but today we'll actually look at just the Kali Purple device. So to show you what we end up with, by the time we're done with this video, we end up with these dashboards here. We'd have added detection to one of the Windows machines, and we'll deploy some malware. As you can see here, I have an alert that fired that says malware was detected. How do we do this with Kali Purple? How do we set it up? That's exactly what this video is all about. And you should be able to see some data like this here, some events, and we explain what all this is as we set it up. But that's pretty much our main goal here, is to look at Kali Purple and do that. So the first thing is we go to kali.org, read more information about the release. You'll probably see some documentation with some screenshots. As you can see, this is what we will be having. This data right here, these screenshots here for Elastic SIEM. So let's go ahead and download. I encourage you to read through this, but for now, let's just hit the download button. I want to use the ISO. And in this case, this is the regular Kali. You need to scroll down until it says Kali Purple. If you don't do that, you would install the wrong Kali, and hit download. So this will take a few minutes. My download here, depending on your speed. So it's downloading. While it's downloading, let's go back and see what we'll be working on. So here, I have some detection. What did I do earlier that resulted in this malware detection alert? Let's check it out. It happened 10 times. I'll click on this alert here. What was I doing? All right, it looks like this day here, we had so many critical alerts named beacon.exe and explorer.exe were alerting. This is when I clicked on a malware. I was trying to download it. I was trying to make it run. I had generated it. And of course, this kept catching it. This is endpoint detection that can happen with Kali Purple. And I think that a lot of people, especially those who are interested in learning, will find this very valuable in learning detection, in learning offensive security. This is Purple teaming at its best here. And what happened here? We detected a malicious file called beacon32.exe. It was in the user Vagrant's machine. So I'll show you a network diagram. And at the same time, this is what Kali Purple looks like once it's done. So let's not worry about that for now. Our download looks like it's almost done. Let's go to our folder. Here's our Kali Purple disk. I'm going to be deploying this in VirtualBox. All right, so our setup is very simple. As you can see here, you can have your home router. You need a Windows 10 computer. In this case, mine is running 24 gigs. It has 24 gigs of RAM, and I have 1 terabyte on the hard drive. But at least 500 gigs that are free, that are dedicated to this lab, will help. We have Kali Purple. We have a regular Kali, which you can use here. Then we have a Windows client. You don't need the regular Kali. You can use Kali Purple for the same attacks, but I just happen to have a regular Kali. Then we have a Windows client that will try to connect to Kali Purple for defense and detection, like I was showing you. This is the Windows client that will try to attack and see if we can defend and do some investigations. So this is a very simple lab running in VirtualBox in this case. And once we download everything, we should have Kali Purple ISO. We have our Windows machine here. We can go and just check quick. Here, as you can see, here's 24 gigs of RAM. Let's check our hard drive. In this case, I have this external drive here, which is a terabyte. So 24 gigs, a terabyte, and a decent CPU. That would do it for our lab. So now let's go and launch VirtualBox, which you need to install if you don't have VirtualBox. And we'll start the installation of Kali Purple. I guess we can go here and say machine new. Okay, the type is going to be Linux, Debian 64-bit if it's here. And next, for RAM, I want this one to have 12. Okay, something like that. Then create virtual hard disk. Next, dynamically allocated. For storage, since I have a terabyte, I want this one to have 200 because I want to keep some data. You can have, the more space you have here, the more you can do with this machine. Then I can say create Kali Purple. Right click, go to settings, storage. Right here, you want to go to, let's go here, live CD, and click here, choose disk file. Go to your Kali file, open. Now we mounted the ISO file that we downloaded, and OK. Now we power it on. Normal start. Okay, so here choose graphical install. Okay, so now we choose English. Next, United States, choose your location, American English for me. Detecting the hard drive. Right, for the name here, I'm going to name it Kali-Purple because I want to make sure that it's different. And next, the domain is itsecurityLab.local. You don't need to put a domain here, but I have one. The network. For the user, I would like to be, it could be any name that you want. This is the user that I use in my labs. And I just say next, password. Give it a password. And the password matches. So Kali Purple, there we go. My time is central. So choose your own time. Use entire disk. Yep. All files. Finish. Choose yes. All right, so it's just installing the operating system now. This might take a while, so I'll pause here. So while the installation is happening, I want to introduce you to this GitLab page here. This is where most of the instructions on Kali Purple are. And here's how it works. They will tell you like, hey, we have over 100 defensive tools such as these. Today we're focusing on the Elastic SIEM. I'm not focusing on anything else other than Elastic SIEM. But what they tell you is, here's Kali Purple ISO. So you notice that we have different versions here. This was confusing for me the first time. I was like, wait a second. I thought I'm just dealing with one. Apparently, if you want any of these Kali Purple tools, some of them are not installed by default. For example, this installation.txt here will be for Kali Violet. This will install the elk stack that we need to do. So we can automate this process by converting this whole thing here into a bash script. And it's a very simple process. That's what I did, but I'll walk you through how we can do it. Once our installation is done, we need to copy and paste all these commands, follow them step by step, and we end up with an Elastic SIEM that works. So we install Kibana, we install the dependencies, and we'll also enroll Kibana into Elastic SIEM, and then enable HTTPS. Very simple steps, and we'll do that once our installation is complete right here. So let's have it finish, and once it finishes, we'll sign in and we'll look around. Okay, so after a while, you'll see that the installation finishes and you need to reboot. And once you restart, you need to sign in with the credentials that you created. This is a first look at Kali Purple, and so we should look at some tools that are in there, and it might take a second here. All right, there we go, Kali Purple. So it looks like a regular Kali right at the menu here. The only thing that's different is we now have the identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover methods here. Other than that, everything else that a normal Kali Linux installation has will be here. So what are these? Identify, protect, detect. These are tools that are usually used for defensive solutions, and we're not going to focus on a lot of them today. We want to make sure that we install the Elastic SIEM, but in the future we have a whole series here. This is the first video on Kali Purple, and I'm showing you how to install the first two. So we want to open our terminal, and I'll also like to open a browser. Okay, let's go to the GitLab for Kali Purple. Find our instructions. These are installation.txt for the elk SIEM. So we like to copy and paste all these step by step. Just doing this, copy, paste. You really don't have to think too much about it. Sudo su, let's become root. Now paste all those instructions from the GitLab, the first part. So yours will not exist. All right. Once we get the first part here, convert it to a single node. In this case, we want to run that and that. Let's just do both. We are installing the Elastic SIEM. This is just an automated way of doing it. And we have all the instructions we need. Then install Kibana. So what I would do is, for Kibana, I'll do the first two here. And paste. All right. Yours will be different. Mine is saying Kibana is already there. So once you run these two, next we're going to echo this server.host. You can change it if you want, but we just use whatever is there. All right. And then ensure that Kali Purple is only mapped to this in Etsy host in order for Kibana interface. So I'm going to my Etsy host right now. Let's use Nano. So Etsy host. So I put the IP address of my Kali Linux, and I put Kali-Purple, this stuff here. So you need to find out what is the IP address of your Kali by going to File, New, IPA. This is mine. That's what is here. You put yours. And then the Kali Purple name. All right. So that's what this line was talking about. Then let's enable Kibana now. And I'll check the status of Kibana. Well, that enabled Elastic and Kibana. So let's make sure that Kibana is actually running. All right, Kibana is running. Let's check for Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is running. Cool. Next, what do they want us to do? So we finished online 27 here. Now let's enroll Kibana. To do that, we generate a token. Oh, this is going to be fun. Let's clear the screen. All right, it's giving me an error. Let's see why. Okay, it's because I already ran it earlier, so that's fine. You need to run yours, it'll work. Then open a browser and navigate to the IP address. The IP address that we need to navigate to is going to be the IP address of your Kali, not that one. So I'll go to HTTP 192. No. All right, so we go there. Use HTTP first because you don't have any passwords. But it's asking me for a password here, so I have Elastic. And I think I have a password somewhere. Let me find my password. Okay, so the password was given to us during installation. You can reset this password as well if you wanted to. But now I'm getting in. All right, so first time you get in here, it will have look something like this. Like, hey, what do you want to do? That's fine. But for now, we know that we can sign in. Open browser, enter the elastic password, paste the token from above, which you can. If you get asked for a token, paste the token that was given to you above here. You can generate the verification code by running this command here, by just saying, hey, give me a verification code. If Kibana hasn't been configured yet, restart Kibana, generate a new code. Otherwise, you can safely ignore this message. Okay, I already have a verification code, but you can verify, get a verification code this way. All right, next, you can enable HTTPS. The best way to do this is to literally copy this whole string here and paste it in your Kali. So copy that, just go here and paste and hit enter. Then finish by going back, copy these. Told you this could be a bash script, and hit enter. All right, so those are the instructions on setting up Kali Purple. So now you have a fully functional Kali Purple with a Kibana instance. This is not the end of it. If you have any issues during the installation, make sure that you follow the instructions carefully from here. They're pretty straightforward. Everything that you need is in this document. But now that we have a working one, how do we use this to monitor a host? That's where we get paid. So click on security. All right. You might want to go and say get started. Add security integrations right here. We're going to create a profile for our Windows machine. So our goal here is to monitor our Windows machine. Let me show you. Right here, we want to monitor this for any malicious attacks. So make this into a full SIEM. So we will add an agent here. So now we're setting up our SIEM to make sure that it can do that. So let's put security. Search for security. Which one did I use? Elastic. Okay, let's use the Elastic Defend one. Click on that. Add Elastic Defend. Come on. I'll name this one Windows Defend. There's the description. And it's asking us, okay, select configuration. We just say this is traditional. For new host, Windows policy. You can name it whatever you want. Collect system log and save and continue. So we're saving and continuing. All right, Elastic Defend integration has been added. Add Elastic agent to your host. So I can click here and say add Elastic agent to my host. So here's my Defend. I can enroll in Fleet or I can run standalone. Fleet is the easiest one, but for now, you know what? Let's add a Fleet server. How hard can it be? Add a Fleet server. Install Fleet server to a centralized host. So let's put it on this same machine and copy that. Open the terminal. Okay, then we paste that right here. Let's see if we will be able to get there. Right, we're installing Fleet server. So once Fleet server installs, the one in the back here should tell us. You see where it says confirm connection? It should tell us whether or not the connection worked, if our Fleet server works correctly from here. So let's let it finish. All right, so it looks like mine is already installed or finished. My Fleet server is working now. As you can see, my Kali Purple is showing as healthy. Now I can say add an agent to this fleet server. It says, what type of host are you adding? I'm adding a Windows. Let's say this one. Then enroll in fleet recommended. It's a Windows machine. So I'm adding a Windows agent 2 policy. We need to make sure that we check that one later. So now it says, if you do that, you need to run this. So we need to copy that. Let's go to our Windows machine and sign into this, and then copy this and paste in our Windows machine. It's easier that way. So inside of our Windows machine here, if you refresh this, we should be able to sign into your SIEM and then click add agent. What kind of agent is it? Agent policy 1, 2, I guess. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, this one is system. Let's check 2. Let's say check 3. Okay, we would like to deploy this Windows policy with Elastic Defend and Windows system. Choose Windows. We'll copy this. Search for PowerShell. Just open regular PowerShell and paste that from here into PowerShell. And as you can see, it's downloading. It's doing all the work. Once it's done doing this, it's expanding the archive. Give it some time. While this is happening in the back here, if you scroll down, it's listening for the agent to come in. But of course, we'll go back here. Once this is done expanding, we'll do the installation. Okay, so once it's done expanding, we have one final command here. This one might fail. Do you want to install this as a service? For now, let's stop it. I'll tell you why. We want to rerun that command with -- insecure. Because if you run it the way it was, our certificate is not that valid. So it puts the insecure flag there. That way it guarantees that it runs. Now say yes. This will copy all the files from here into the Elastic Agent folder and also start the service. And still listening for events. After the agent is done, you should see that some events that are confirmed and confirmed incoming data. Okay, so as you can see, one agent has been enrolled. Now it's confirming that we actually have incoming data. And once it confirms it, the agent should show up right here. Right, so as you can see, our agent is showing up in the back there. It says healthy, but it's still confirming some data here. That's fine. So we know that we have successfully enrolled an agent. So if I come back here, this is the machine. It's running the Windows policy logs. So let's go to that policy. As you can see here, we have the Windows Defend and system. Let's go to check Windows Defend. And on Windows Defend here, we have detect and prevent. Let's prevent it from even downloading malicious files. Let's save the integration. Then now let's go and make sure that we deploy that to our agent. And let's test our agent to see if it actually works. So we're going to go to our malicious Kali. All right, so here is my revshells.com. I would like to generate a reverse shell using MS Venom. Let's copy. Let's just copy this. Okay, so copy, paste it here. It's going to be right there, reverse.exe. Okay, so we now have our reverse.exe here. Let's host it. Okay, so we're hosting a bad file on a bad Kali Linux machine. Now let's go back to our victim machine. Okay, so if we go to our shell here, so we're hosting a malicious file from here in our Kali called reverse.exe that we just generated. If we try to even download it using the browser on our victim, let's go here and say, click download. See, then you try to open it. Oh, right away, Elastic Security prevented reverse.exe. So that alert should show up in our dashboard a couple times. Okay, let's do it one more time. Make sure that we try to download this. It's called reverse. Let's open it. And it fails right away. And right behind me, the alert fires, as you can see. Let's do it 2 more times. Try to download it. Chrome downloads it. And it fails. And Elastic Security is catching us. Okay, now we gotta wait 5 minutes or so. Okay, let's go to our alerts. Scroll down to security and alerts. There we go. This is all us clicking on that reverse file, and this was Firefox trying to open it. So as you can see here, we now have an alert that says, hey, by the way, we saw a file trying to go to downloads called reverse. And who started this? Firefox, because I was using Firefox, not Google Chrome. So the downloads folder, it was removed by Elastic Security. So now we know we have a working Kali Purple. Okay, so we know that this works because we're getting all these alerts here. But the most important thing is nothing executed on our victim machine, which is really good. So we can safely say our Elastic SIEM on Kali Purple is working. If you want something like this, please follow along like I was doing. You might run into issues, but if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for being here, and I hope to see you in the next video on Elastic SIEM.